A very good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Western India Regional Council, it's my great pleasure to welcome you all on the series of CEOs Speak, where we invite legendary people from our profession who have achieved great heights and are inspiration for everyone to discuss about their journey right from articleship period to CEO level, how they have started, how did they find a kick in their career, what is it about them that makes them extraordinary. So today we have brought one such legend, CA Motilal Oswal sir, among us. I welcome you, sir. We have with us CA Murtaza Kachwala, Chairman WIRC. So let me tell you, this CEO series started last year when Murtaza sir was a chairman of members in industry committee, and this is well taken over by current chairman of this committee, CA Gautam Lat, and vice chairman CA Pinky Kedia. I congratulate to both of them. Also, I recognize a presence of CA Satish Shenoy, who is kind enough to the accepting to do the moderation for the session. So before start formally today's talk, I request everyone to please put your hand on your heart for the ICI motto.
येष सुप्तेषु जागृति येष सुप्तेषु जागृति कामं 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 कामपुरुषो पुरुषो निर्मिमाणः निर्मिमाणः तदेव शुक्रं तद्ब्रह्मा तद्ब्रह्मा तदेवामृतमुच्यते तस्मिन् लोकः शतः सर्वे तदूनात्यति कश्चन एतद्द्वैता 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 एतद्द्वैता.
Thank you so much. Let me quickly touch upon on our theme and goals of WRC for this year. Friends, we have a very dynamic team, enthusiastic team, also a visionary and action-oriented chairman, SCA Murtaza Kachwala sir, for this year. So we all are ready to leap towards excellence, achievement, and development under his leadership. That is our theme for this year. In shorter version, it's a lead. It is a combination of 5 goals which we have set out for ourselves. The first is technical upgradation of small medium practitioners with newer area of practice. Second, bringing efficiency and effectiveness in work of chartered accountant. The third, we just want to become a bridge between the various section of the membership. Fourth, making CA course more attractive. And fifth is we want to work in improving the image of overall chartered accountant, which is need of the hour. So our today's initiative is completely in line with our goals. So moving further, I request our leader at WRC to please tell us more about your vision, mission, and for your opening remark and some idea about the CEO Speak, because you are the initiator. So over to you, Chairman, sir.
Thank you, Shweta. A warm good morning to all the participants. I welcome everyone on this Saturday morning. At the outset, let me thank CA Motilal Oswal ji, sir. Extremely grateful that you accepted our invitation and you agreed to spare your valuable time with all the participants here today, sir. Sir, you are an icon. Sir, actually, I think each and every chartered accountant would have heard the name Motilal Oswal, but maybe many would not know that there is a CA behind it. And again, sir, like to meet you personally and talk to you. And now here we have opportunity for so many people to listen to you. So we are extremely grateful. Let me also thank CA Satish Shenoy. Satish ji, extremely grateful. Thank you for being an anchor throughout and with such great personalities. So thank you very much. Sir, actually, like as we, and you will agree with me, sir, that like the CFO's role is ever changing now. And CFO's role is moving from an accounting accountant or a passing accounting entry to an overall consultant. Like he looks at SCM also, procurement also, policy procedure, and it keeps on adding. And I think it is the CFOs are now right suited because they look at every angle of business to get to the next level. So sir, here when we invite personality like you, uh, we are sure that in that 50 minutes you will give us so many tips, and if each one of us pick up at least 2 or 3 things also which we like and we make those changes in our life, I think we'll be able to push ourselves to the next level. So sir, I'm sure the journey, the brand which you build in yourself is not easy, and your journey is going to be interesting, and we are looking forward to look at those difficult decisions which you took at the right time, the right decisions. And if you can also tell us what do you expect from us as a skill set to get to the next level. So I think that is the only agenda, sir, and extremely grateful. Thank you. And over to you again, Shweta. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman sir. Before handing over charge to the moderator, let me introduce first to our moderator, CA Satish Shenoy. He is a chartered accountant, cost accountant, and company secretary, and carries over 40 years of experience in internal audit, risk management, forensic and ethics function across PSU and private enterprises such as Hindustan Petroleum, Onida, Lupin, Reliance Retail, L&T, and Aditya Birla Group. He is closely associated in various capacity with many professional accounting and auditing bodies, a few trade association and educational institutes. Also, he is a key member of the expert group for the issuance of the forensic accounting and investigation standards by our own institute. He is currently into voluntary mentoring of young professionals in their career pursuit, assisting underprivileged children and teachers to enhance their English speaking skill through the DBM Foundation, and doing other volunteer work in the social sector. So friends, now the time to know about role model to so many people, including me, and it's my privilege to introduce him, CA Motilal Oswal, sir. Of course, he's a chartered accountant, but at the same time, he's a managing director and CEO of Motilal Oswal Financial Services Limited. Under their leadership, the company has grown from a small sub-brokerage unit with zero capital to India's leading and well-respected financial services company with a market cap of rupees 13,000 crore. With more than 35 years of experience and focus in equity, MOFSL Group has diversified into 7 business models such as distribution and broking, institutional equities, investment banking, asset management, wealth management, private equity, and home finance, catering to about 30 lakh plus customer and advising on more than rupees 2 lakh crore of assets. He has been felicitated with several awards, and list is huge. Start with Rashtriya Samman Patra awarded by the Government of India for being amongst the highest income taxpayer in the country for the period of 5 years from 95 to 99. Excellence Business Achiever in Financial Services Award by our own institute, Samaj Ratna Award at the hands of Her Excellency President Srimati Pratibha Patil in Rashtrapati Bhavan, Special Contribution Award to Indian Capital Market by Z Business, the Hall of Fame for Excellence in Franchising by Franchising a World Magazine, Champion of Arthashastra by Rotary Club, Durga Devi Saraf Puraskar by Marwari Sammelan for the extraordinary contribution, Management Excellency Award by prestigious Institute of Management and Research, Rajasthan Ratna Lifetime Achievement Award by Manav Seva Trust, Jewel of Rajasthan in the World, titled by Manish Media, Surya Datta National Lifetime Achievement Award, Darshan Sagar Award by Darshan Sagar Award Samman Committee, Lions Lifetime Achievement Award by Lions Club. So the various awards, and really I'm privileged and fortunate to read about your profile. Sir has served on the governing board of the Bombay Stock Exchange as well as IMC, and also has served on many committees of BSE, NSE, SEBI, and CDSL. He is rated amongst the top most famous chartered accountant by topcafirms.com. Also, Hindu Business Line has rated him amongst the top 6 men who define the markets. He is immediate past chairman of the renowned Gen International Trade Organization, that is GITO, also served as GITO's president for 2 consecutive terms. Sir has also authored 2 books of quotation on the essence of business management and the essence of life. He has published hundreds of articles in financial magazine and newspaper. With this brief introduction, sir, I welcome you again on the platform of WRC and will request to Satish Shenoy, sir, for the taking over the charge from here.
Thank you, Shweta. A very good morning to you, CA Motilal Oswal ji, CA Murtuza Kachwala, CA Shweta Jain, the entire WRC team, and all to lovely participants to this conversation. As mentioned, this is the 5th program in the series in the past few months and the first in the tenure of Mr. Murtuza. We had exceptional leaders like K.K. Mistry, Niranjan Hiranandani, Premchand Godha, Sanjeev Mehta, and now we have the man who truly needs no introduction in the financial services sector, CA Motilal Oswal ji. I consider myself very privileged to be conducting this show. Success in life depends upon 2 important things: vision, that is seeing the invisible, and mission, doing the impossible. Mr. Oswal ji, I dare say that this must have been one of the thoughts that brought you so much success. We are all so eager to hear from you, and hence, without any further ado, let's hear it in his own words, presenting to you CA Motilal Oswal ji. Sir, you were born in a small village of Padru in Bhamar, Rajasthan, near the international border. Your father was a grain trader and a well-to-do businessman. However, instead of joining the family trade, you decided to pursue formal education and became a chartered accountant. What made you choose this wonderful profession?
Good morning to all my CA friends. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be with you all today and share some of my experiences. The life has been very, very interesting, and thanks to the Chartered Accountancy Institute, who had been a very important part of my life and my growth, because you have been, or not you, but I have been taught many things by while doing CA, and those are the things really which has really helped me in shaping my career, and especially in the stock market where we play by numbers and many other things really beyond numbers. So it has been very, very interesting, as Satish said, that I came from a very small village, I think which is on the border of Pakistan. I think very small village, and I was born in the village where there was no electricity. Well, I can't imagine today that 59 years back, when I was born, there was no electricity, there was no tap water, there were no kind of schools, buildings, and you see the life is very, very different. So coming from that kind of background, you actually are made very, very tough. Yeah. And of course, while going through the life experiences, you become tougher and tougher and tougher. And that's all about the human spirit. When I was studying in my college, always people used to ask what you want to do. So coming from, of course, a Marwadi family, I always had the aspiration that I'll build my own business. But then I was not sure what kind of business, where or how. I don't know. I didn't know beyond Rajasthan or Gujarat, or I never had any kind of at least idea that I will land up in Mumbai. I had never visited Mumbai. In fact, I never visited before my graduation beyond Rajasthan and Gujarat. Gujarat because some of my relatives were there. So I think the only thing was that I wanted to do some business on my own. So I once in my I remember in my last final year of my school, the college, I was going home from my hostel. I had stayed in the hostels by the community. So I was going home, and then one of my relative I just bumped into, Mr. Vijayaraj Tatir, who also is a chartered accountant and from the village nearby my village. He was also a WRC chairman at one point of time. So he just told me that, what do you want to do? I said that I want to do something. Well, then why don't you do at least a chartered accountancy? Being a Marwari, I'm a CA, and you should also do CA. So I found, yeah, it's interesting, and he has been a very successful person. So yeah, let's try to really do that. So that's where the seed was sown in my mind about the CA, and then I tried to do CA in Rajasthan. I did my college from Falna, because there was Jain hostel. In my village, there were no hostels, so I was there. I met somebody there, and he said that, why don't you do CA from Pali? There's a DC Bothra and Company in Pali. So I met Bothraji there, and he said that, yeah, you can join us as an article. So I think that was one of the options I had. Then Mr. Tatir Vijayji told me that if you want to do CA, then you should come to Mumbai. You do from Mumbai, the best place to kind of get the CA degree. So that's where I landed up in Mumbai, and he was kind enough to accommodate me for a month or so at his home, and he guided me how to become article, where do you go, because I never knew anybody in this city. So he guided me that you can meet this firm, you can meet this firm. So I came to Mumbai. I roamed around the city of Mumbai. I used to walk for 15, 20, 30 kilometers a day. I went at least to 30, 40 CA firms to look at the articleship, but I was weak in English, and I had no relations or contact. So most of the people rejected me. Then I said, Vijay ji, ये मेरे बस की बात नहीं है. आप ही मुझे गाइड कर लीजिए, या तो आप कहीं रख लीजिए मुझे. Then he sent to one of his friend, NL Maishwari ji of PD Sraf and Company. So he took my interview and said, yeah, कल से आ जाओ बेटा, काम पे लग जाओ. So that kind of I think experience I had. So it's very important that in life the social circle, the social life, the society plays a very, very important part in your life, because in my village, the school was only up to 8th. So I studied sitting under a tree in the sand. Rajasthan is kind of, I think, having a lot of sand and sand dunes. So I used to sit on the sand on a gunny bag under a tree, and that was my schooling. So I went to then hostels beyond my home. So I stayed in community hostels, and then in Mumbai also there's a place called Rajasthan Vidyatigre, and before that Sign Hostel. So I stayed in Sign Hostel. I stayed in RVG Rajasthan Vidyatigre, and then started doing my CA. So this is the kind of brief, yeah.
Yeah, sir.
Sorry.
I wanted to have you talk to us about the RVG, Rajasthan Vidyarthi Grah. I mean, it's so close to your heart, as we can see. So, can you just tell us a little bit about RVG, sir?
Yeah, I think R stand for Rajasthani. So as Rajasthani love kind of Rajasthani people and Rajasthani food. So I first got hostel in Sion Hostel. Okay, but it was a small hostel, and it was a more kind of I would say Gujarati dominated with Gujarati food. And I think there was not actually for CA. There were a lot of other students. So then somebody said that, why don't you try in Rajasthan Vidyatigra? So I tried there. I couldn't get my admission. So again, I went back to my mentor Vijayji. Why don't you help me in getting to RVG? So he sent me to Rajpuriaji. He was in textile market. So no, in fact, he's referred me to somebody Rajasthani who is in textile market in near Rajpuriaji's shop. So I went to him. I must have gone to him about 5 to 7 times, and to request to meet Rajpuriaji and give me an admission. So I got an admission, but that was temporary admission. We call it a moving seat. So I said that let me at least get my foot into the door, and then we'll see. So they give me a temporary room. I used to change. Well, temporary room means you have to change whichever room is vacant, because you know CS the articles they used to do a lot of, they used to travel for audits or kind of to their villages. So any room which is vacant, you just go and occupy. So I think few months or few quarters I remained there, and then they gave me the permanent room. So I think that's the way I. But I think RBG was again one of the kind of best part of my life, where I got a lot of friends and the whole ecosystem. So
Yes.
yep.
So you also met with your friend Ramdev Agarwalji there, and with whom you later founded MOFSL. A little bit about that, sir.
Yeah, so the biggest connection for our business partnership was the RVG connection. He was also doing his CA, and he was of course from Raipur. That time was MP, but now Chhattisgarh. But he was senior by about 5 years to me, so he had already left the hostel. So the connection was RVG, but we met actually for the first time in Lokhandwala, where I was staying in rent, and he had his own brother's home. So I used to take. You were kind of, you didn't afford to take rickshaws, and also I used to, I think you go from the station to Four Bungalows, and then you take the lift by bus, and then because there was no bus, so I used to take a lot of lift from many friends, whoever was, and people were kind enough to kind of give the lift on behind the bike. So that's where I met Ramdev. That boss give me lift, and then he said, "Oh, who are you?" I said, "Yeah, oh, we have RVG connection." That time, the RVG connection. But before that, we never knew RVG, but then RVG became one of the connecting point between us, the emotional point. And then we started meeting. He was already doing some research for a kind of other company, equity research. So that's where I started understanding, oh, okay, we kya kare, so at least let's see if we can do something there.
The learning for me is don't wait until everything is just perfect. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and less than perfect situations. I think we need to make the most of it. And you clearly have done in just what you said in the last 10 minutes. You clearly made use of the opportunities that have not even opportunities, but you converted them into opportunities. And we have seen how you have made this so useful to not only you but to the entire financial services community. Let me now come to your your work at MOFSL. After working with a private audit firm for a while, yourself and Agarwalji started your own accounting firm. You both later decided to join BSE as sub-brokers. During those days, the exchange was dominated by Gujarati traders. However, you met a broker on the floor who got you a sub-broker position at the BSE. You were issued a badge in the name of Motilal Oswal, which subsequently became the name of your company. How did things span out so fast? And what are a couple of things that you're really proud of in your group?
No, I think when you are young and you don't know what you are going to do tomorrow and day after, forget about the years and all. So immediately your priority is to really see that what you want to do. As you said, right, that I tried to search. I tried to work for a few CA firms first in Ahmedabad because that's where my family was there. And after doing my CA, I went to Ahmedabad with my family to stay with my family and try to explore what I could do. So I explored, okay, family is there, let's try to do Ahmedabad CA practice. But the culture was very different after staying in Mumbai for 3 years. Ahmedabad culture didn't suit me, so I came back here and again joined Vijayji. He was kind enough, okay, why don't you work in my office, because I knew you well, so I worked briefly in his office. But then heart was, as I said, heart was in building business, and that's where Ramdev and RVG connection came in. So he was doing already research in the stock market. So he said that somewhere I think I thought, what is research? How do you do that? So that led us to say, wow, this is also great business. So why don't we at least form the partnership? So I did my CA in 84, and then a couple of years I kept on hanging around here and there. And then I found, wow, why don't we start it? But we never knew that the markets would be so big or opportunities can be so large. You don't know. So we thought, let's try it out. Practice didn't work, so let's try it out. And that's where we started the partnership. But I think I would say that we were right at the right time. We came to the right place at the right time, and with the right person. Of course, both of us were happy to kind of connect with each other. And I think God is very kind. Of course, we worked hard. We had passion, but then everybody worked hard. Everybody has passion, but somewhere I think luck also play a very important part. Luck and coincidences. How do you meet Mr. Vijay Tate, who said that you come to Mumbai? How do I meet Ramdev Goral, who said that let's do stock markets? So I think there are a lot of coincidences and your social connects which help you in really, I think, finding the right path.
Oswal sir, it is very rightly said that you don't meet anybody just like that. For every person you meet, every conversation you have, there is some reason behind it. It's only sometimes that it comes to the fore. The financial market certainly is not for the weak-hearted. The urge and opportunity to make quick money is very, very high. So can you briefly tell us anything, any conflicts that came up in your company, and how did you kind of handle them, and how did you resolve them?
Satish, when we formed our partnership, few things we decided that we will not do. Because once you're very clear what you should not do, then really I think you find really, I think, the kind of right things to do. Okay, because hundreds of things you do, but few things you should not do. So two things we decided, that we will not speculate and we will not borrow money. Okay, because stock market, you know, I think the leverage kind of create havoc in the businesses, and it has created not only stock market but everywhere. And the second thing was your own speculation, because stock market is a place where 99 it is speculation, and only 1% or less than a fraction of percent you have got at least long-term kind of investments. So two things really help us really, I think, having that kind of discipline. And the third thing, which we said, that when we want to do the business, I think the transparency and ethics, the values part. So, and at that point of time, the stockbroking was a kind of, I think, very kind of, I think, bad business. It had no reputation. Okay, because all kind of malpractices were there, the speculation, the broker's default, the kind of cheating, brokers cheating, all kind of, I think, things were there, because there were no regulator, and the exchange themselves were the regulators, and brokers, I would say, had not much kind of, I think, code of conduct and everything, because the business was evolving and it was a very small business. So I think in the world which plays with money, greed kind of, I think, impacts a lot of people, human beings, and we all are greedy, of course, but then right greed and kind of, I think, wrong greed. Okay, so the values part, that how do we, I think, make sure that you will not get tempted by going through any kind of shortcuts where you try to get benefit of some situation from your clients, or even kind of, I think, cheating the exchequer by not paying right kind of taxes. So I think from day one, those things were very clear, that we want to create an ethical organization. You don't know you will become big or small, but at least there are few things we set in place in year one itself.
Absolutely. I think the learning very clearly is be clear what you don't want to do, and definitely you will land up with things that you really want to do. So now you are a 9,000 plus team, if I'm right. Your focus has always been customer first attitude, ethical and transparent business practices, as you just now said, respect for professionalism. So research-based value investing and implementation of cutting-edge technology. Any thoughts on this, sir?
See, why research? First thing is that Ramdev was doing some equity research. Okay, I'm not a great researcher even today, although I can read balance sheet, and thanks to CA Institute, you can read balance sheet, and you can at least connect and question Ramdev on what he's saying about equity research. But I think research is very, very different, and you have to go much more deeper beyond just crunching numbers. So when you look at the business, I think the most important part is that how do you add value to your customers? Why anybody should come to you? Yeah. Okay. So I think being a chartered accountant, you had an edge understanding the balance sheets. Okay. In those times, the balance sheets, in fact, were not available. You know, you have to go to the Bombay Stock Exchange to get the copy of the balance sheet, because shareholders were only getting the balance sheets, and we knew very few shareholders. So Ramdev used to go to Bombay Stock Exchange, xerox out the balance sheets, then kind of, I think, read it, analyze it, and then say, yeah, it's a good investment from long term. So he was good in research, and he was, of course, when you're good in research, you're good in advice. So that was the connecting point. with the clients, and clients love that because first thing is that honest services. Second thing is that good quality advice, sincere advice. Both the things were not there when we started the career. So that really, I think, connected well. And of course, you get your few clients who are your friends or relatives. So I think maybe in year one, we must have added about 15, 20 clients. But then those 20 clients become your kind of biggest brand ambassadors who talk to their friends, and you actually through word of mouth, you keep on, so long as you are doing right things, sincere things, honest things, and add value. I think the new clients will keep on coming.
Perfect, perfect. Values are like fingerprints, sir. Nobody's are the same, but you leave them all over everything that you do. Let me now come down to your well diversified financial firm. You are into private wealth, retail broking, distribution, institutional broking, asset management, investment banking, private equity, commodity broking, currency broking, home finance, and I think it will require more than one breath to really get into everything that you do. You have a network across 550 cities and towns and comprising over 2,500 business locations operated by your business partners. How difficult is it to establish a pan-India business, and how have you managed to make it look so simple?
Yeah, Satish. So we started as a sub-broking firm, and then really I think you worked for 3 years. We worked as a sub-broker. You made some money. You get good kind of, I think, client base. So we thought that let's, I think, now become a member ourselves rather than working for a member and sharing 50% of revenue with them. Okay, let's try to, I think, buy the membership. And in those point of time, the buying the membership was very, very difficult. Okay, you need to find the sources to go to the old brokers and you buy from them. So I think, but then somebody helped us and they said that this guy wants to sell his membership. So why don't you go and buy it? In fact, the exchange also had opened the membership scheme for professionals, but unfortunately, the professionals were not given any kind of preference. Most of the brokers, family members, they got the memberships. So real professionals, outside professionals like us, we were not selected. So we saw that, okay, it's okay, but you can, it's only question of paying high. So we kind of, I think, had some capital. Some family members also helped us in really giving us the capital. And then we bought the Bombay Stock Exchange membership in 1990. Yeah, so that's where I think the Bombay Stock Exchange, which was a very prestigious membership at that point of time. And Bombay Stock Exchange used to cater to the whole country. Today, NSE is there, but actually there were 21 exchanges, but Bombay Stock Exchange was having 90% of the market share at that point of time. But I think National Stock Exchange was not there at that point of time. So BSE has its own monopoly, and it went through its own kind of, I think, challenges where people like Harsham immediately, when we bought the membership, Harsham Mehta scam happened. So we again thought, are we in the right place? We kept on questioning that, are we going to really, I think, survive us here? But then we thought that I think there will always be demand for professionals. There will be demand from transparent people, and people will have a lot of wealth to deploy. So we had the conviction, but then short time you will keep on getting those kind of challenges where you keep questioning. And of course, I think your conviction, your passion, and your long-term orientation help you remaining focused on what you want to do.
Very good. I would just request the audience to keep asking questions. We'll probably take them from about 10:50 or so, another 10-15 minutes. I get the opportunity to talk to Motilal Oswal ji, but to make sure that you push in your questions, you're more than happy to take the questions as they come. Sir, one last question on this this part of the conversation. Do you think that the financial services is regulated enough, or is there scope for regulating it more, or do you think it is over-regulated as of now, with so many authorities being there as regulators?
No, I think it is over-regulated. Of course, it was under-regulated when we began. There was no regulation. So you have a transition from no regulation to too much regulation. But then really, I think, see, if you look at the history of the stock markets, not only in India, but globally, there were a lot of scams and scandals. And wherever the money is there, people will be greedy, people will go through the shortcuts, and people would like to, I think, take advantages of the situation. So it is always to be safer side, to be over-regulated rather than under-regulated. So my whole kind of, I think, I would say, support for over-regulation, because generally I think it brings safety to the masses and also brings some discipline.
Okay. I just wanted to now ask you a couple of personal questions, and I hope you don't mind that.
Sure.
Besides the companies that you guide, you are also associated with various social organizations. You are president of the GITO, as Shweta had said in the inaugural, while introducing you, and a trustee of the Agarwal Oswal Chatra Awards of the RVG, among others.
That's RVG.
You have authored 2 books on quotations on the essence of business and management and the essence of life. You are involved with so many activities. So how does a typical day look for you? I mean, dawn to dusk.
No, I think Monday to Saturday, most of the time, of course, goes for the business and some time for families. Weekends are kind of, I think, especially Sundays are more for social work and whatever is left out for families or reading, catching up with the readings. So I love reading. Then I try to really, I think, say life. In any case, you go through life. So life would have, in my view, there are 3 cycles. That first 25 years you learn, next 25 years maybe you earn, and then after that you return. So this whole life is all about these 3 cycles: learn, earn, and return. Okay.
Super.
And most of the people, of course, when you kind of, I think, learn, you also, I think, try to do kind of, I think, do some earning, or you also return something back to the society. Not maybe not in financial terms, maybe in terms of time. So the equation keeps on changing. So the idea is now you have to really, I think, go towards the balanced life. And as I said, that God is very kind to us. So why not share our knowledge, our wealth with underprivileged people? Because those are the people who have helped us. They have created schools where we got education. At least I got education. They have created hostels where I got education. They have created kind of, I think, great place like temples and all, where you get emotionally connected with them. My sister, we are a very religious family. My sister is a Sadhvi, Jain monk. So you got those kind of spiritual values also in you. So from day one, you are taught that when you go to temple, put something into the bhandar, give it back, take care of the poor people, take care of the guest who come to your home. So I think social values play a very, very important part. The question is that I think whether you have the enough resources as well as the kind of commitment and willingness. Some people may have a lot of resources, but they think very differently. So I believe that at least life has been very kind. So it is kind of, I think, very important that we give it back to society. So in that direction, we get associated with first thing you start charity begin from home. So if RVG has given us kind of, I think, the CA degree, then why don't we kind of, I think, create hostels for them? So we created kind of, I think, additional hostel. Agarwal Oswal Chatra was there. Then I think wherever I studied my village, we created kind of, I think, some kind of projects there. And then wherever we find there's a great causes for kind of, I think, social things, whether it is farmers, we just have created, we are just kind of, I think, working with one of the social organization, Mayank Gandhi's, where we are creating the India's largest training center for farmers to improve the productivity. We have created one of the largest campus in Orissa for tribal children in Orissa's most backward district with about 2,000 plus students, tribal students. We have no connection in Orissa, but we found somebody and he's doing a great job. So we thought that why don't we at least create something? So wherever we find right causes, I can go on, but I think wherever we find the right cause, and I think in any case now you have CSR budgets also, but we spend more than what CSR budgets are. So I think that's the way you go back to your, as I said, that you learn, you earn. So why don't you return?
I think the world definitely requires many, many more Motilal Oswals and Ramdev Agarwaljis. I think that takes the learning from my side. Now let me ask you something on the profession. What do you think that we chartered accountants, especially the young generation, need to do? I mean, some way we have understood how to become CFOs, and that's the path I think most of us really take up, or become, CFOs and risk management and auditors and all that. But what is it that we chartered accountants, the young chartered accountants, need to do to become a CEO and think like a CEO?
No, there are a huge number of CEOs and very successful chartered accountant CEOs. You mentioned Sanjeev was here, Sanjeev Hindustan Lever guys. So, and there's a lot of chartered accountants really who have become successful CEOs.
Yes.
So it's not that chartered accountants are fit to be CFOs. In my company, we have 300 chartered accountants.
Oh.
Okay, and we all two original promoters and third promoter joined in later, Naveen. We all three are CAs. In our management committee, out of 10, 7 are chartered accountants. Okay, and I think they're playing a very, very important part. All our research analysts, most of the research analysts will be chartered accountants. Most of the fund manager would be chartered accountants. Our COO, Chief Operating Officer, is a chartered accountant. Our office CFO is a chartered accountant. So there are CEOs in our firm who are chartered accountants, who are head of operations, who are chief CIOs, chief investment officers, research analysts, investment bankers. So you get all kind of people here, because I think naturally we have been trained about not only mathematics, but you learn about the power of technologies. You also learn about the holistic kind of, I think I would say, how do you work in the ecosystem? How do you work hard? So a lot of things I think as a chartered accountancy, you have been trained to do that. And then once you kind of, I think, go beyond your degree, then I think you will be in far better position. The question is that I think you have the skill set, but the issue is that the mindset. Okay, that how do we, I think, migrate yourself from a skill set to a mindset of I call it I think somewhere I think I spoke to one of the group, and somebody after the session, somebody said that you wonderfully talked about OGLP. There's a QGLP which Ramdev follows in our research process, identify the companies. But then I spoke that on OGLP. Well, it was not my speech, but somebody said that it's a you have invented an alternate to QGLP. So QGLP for Ramdev, and now OGLP is for you. So yeah, then I could say, wow, it's a great kind of, I think, acronym. So I see that people with those kind of 4 mindset of OGLP. O stand for ownership. You need to think like an owner. Everything really falls in place. You are not a professional, you are not an employee, but if you think wherever you work, you may be an employee, you may be a CEO or CIO, but think like an owner. That brings huge amount of growth. So ownership mindset. Z is the growth mindset. Do you think big? Do you aspire to do kind of, I think, many bigger things than what you're doing? So that's a growth mindset. So O is ownership mindset, Z stands for growth mindset, L for learning mindset. That's very important. That how do you learn in this kind of world where too many things are happening, so many disruptions, so much volatility, so much uncertainty. So the knowledge is, I think, the power or the beacon which actually keeps the people with knowledge ahead of others. So your learning mindset. Do you think do you learn every day? The lifetime student mindset. Okay, so that's about the power of knowledge, the learning mindset. And the P is the people mindset. That do you align with the right kind of people? How do you kind of, I think, work with people? How do you manage people? What kind of people who at least with passion, values you partner with? So I think this OGLP mindset brings not only the CFOs kind of, I think, opportunity for CAs, but all kind of opportunities. So CEOs now, CAs should not think about CFOs because there is life beyond CFOs. Okay, beyond accounting, beyond taxation, beyond kind of things. And I am the example, or Ramdev Gurul is an example. We have, as I said, 300 chartered accountants, and there are a lot of famous chartered accountants who are really, I think, play a very important part as CEOs or CIOs or CXOs. So I think it's only question of you preparing yourself for that kind of growth.
Since we can go on and on this, and we can keep hearing you. There's so much of information oozing out of your words, oozing out of you, your willingness to share so many things. One question I can't resist asking you, and given your crystal ball gazing, looking about the future, How do you see the financial services business in India shaping up? And can you suggest some novel ways of practice, maybe for the profession, for the chartered accountants? But how do you see the business, actually, financial services business shaping up in the future?
See, it's huge. I think globally, about 25% of the market cap comes from BFSI sector, which is banking and financial services. And that is expanding. See, India is a now $3 trillion economy, but we will become 5, we will become 10. It's only a question of time. It's only a question of time. When I started, we were hardly about 500 million economy. Then we became a trillion in, I think, 2007. And today we are 3 trillion. So I think our normal GDP growth, 11%, 12%. Really, I think it will take us towards kind of trillion, 5 trillion and 10 trillion. So the more per capita income, GDP grows, per capita income grows, there's a huge amount of kind of demand for financial services, including banking, investing. So, and there are a lot of new sectors also emerging within financial services. Say data science. Okay, it's not about technology, but it's only about analytical power of the data. So data science is again a huge kind of, I think, skills which are developing. So for chartered accountants, they're great in numbers. So I think data science is a great kind of scope for them, and this is highly in demand. Okay, so that those data science. So traditionally, I think and regulatory also, you have a lot of audits required apart from your normal audits. You have consulting kind of capabilities where you can consult the kind of companies on strategy, business strategy, on planning, on kind of cost management. And there are a lot of outsourcing happens today, not only on accounting side, but on research side. I think there is research which is outsourced, not only Indian research, but global research. So I'm sure a lot of chartered accountants guys are doing, I think, beyond traditional kind of practice, but then practice itself is evolving, and that's a huge scope there also as professional practice. Okay, so I think chartered accountants has got huge opportunities for growth in many fields.
Very true, very true. Vaibhav, I don't see any questions up there. Are there no questions at all, or am I not able to see it? Somebody from the admin? Shweta?
दे रहा हूँ सर, क्वेश्चन दे रहा हूँ सर, दे रहा हूँ
क्वेश्चन
सर।
है क्या?
हाँ सर, है, दे रहा हूँ सर।
अच्छा, तो आप क्या करेंगे, वर्ड में अपलोड करेंगे क्या?
आपके सामने है सर क्वेश्चन।
हाँ सर, बस ये आया है। ओके, थोड़ा बड़ा कीजिए सर, लिटिल बिगर फॉन्ट साइज या कुछ बड़ा करके।
No, I can read. Satish,
Okay,
I can
fine.
read.
So the question is about where do we he says that on a Saturday morning it's good to come and speak like this. How can we get opportunities to meet not only you but such great leaders? I mean, how does one get this opportunity?
Yeah. So work for us. That's one opportunity. Become our customers. That's another opportunity.
Absolutely.
Join the various social forums, and really, I think we can really meet there.
Yes.
So, or write to Satish to contact me.
Sir, surely. I think I'm myself so excited, sir, to kind of speak to you in the last 45-50 minutes. It's been a great learning for all of us. The next question is about younger generation. What is the advice from you for the younger chartered accountants? You did speak about it in reference to some questions, but any specific advice to young chartered accountants?
No, I think, as I said in my OGLP, that the learning part, that keep learning, that keep increasing your appetite for more and more learnings, and remain focused on few topics and go deeper. Don't have to do wider, but go deeper. Suppose you want to become the best analyst. Ramdev had the vision that I want to become the best analyst, and he still spent a lot of time in understanding the companies and talking to management. So, and he's just going deeper. While I didn't go deeper, he went deeper, and he still is an expert. And I'm not a subject matter expert, but I'm a journalist. Okay. So I think for the younger people, you have to become a SME that is subject matter experts in whatever you want to do. Okay, suppose you want to become a data scientist, you want to become a research analyst, or you want to become a kind of fund manager, investment kind of having manager, or you want to become a wealth manager, or you want to become a kind of a taxation expert. So I think knowledge is unlimited. So have that appetite for knowledge. That's very important.
So
Second thing is that
sorry, I'm extremely
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, sorry. Tell me, Satish, you want to say?
There was one very interesting question, sir. How do you scale up your business? I mean, how did you scale up your business, and what are the tips that you can give us for if somebody wants to scale up? And that's very important from a business perspective, sir. Sorry to interrupt.
I think people bring the scalability. Okay, people are very, very important part of any organization, and every day the people power or the kind of I think importance of people in companies or everywhere is really growing in a big way. So how do you attract the best talent and retain them? More importantly, retain the best talent with you. Okay, in whatever you are a CA firm or you are a company or you are working for somebody else, where as a leader you have a lot of subordinates. So most important part in today's growth is having the right kind of people and retain them. Right kind of, I said right kind of people, not people, but right kind of people and retain them. That's the kind of, I think, very, very critical part of any scalability. Because without people, as I said, you can become a Sachin Tendulkar and you become a subject matter expert and just remain, you are a one man kind of army. Okay. So you can decide that I want to become the world's kind of, I think, best batsman or best scientist or best analyst. So there are individual contributors roles, and they are kind of roles which really I think are, say, a leadership role or manager's role or entrepreneur's role or a corporate professional role. So and even if suppose you are an individual contributor, but still you have to work with people. So people skills are very, very important for any growth. And if you want to grow in a business, then definitely you need to really align with the right kind of people who share your passion. So people, passion, and the last piece, the processes, because processes and people combination brings scalability. So right kind of processes and the right kind of people will bring huge amount of growth or scalability for any organization.
So there is one more interesting question which I found interesting actually. I don't know what's the answer for this, but he says that the chartered accountant work, especially in practice, is lot to do with administrative work, like filing returns before due date, filing annual returns, and lots of other compliances. Is there some way we can think of actually, trying to automate it, or I don't know where the answer lies, sir. Would you like to take a shot at that question, sir?
I think technology.
Yes.
As I said, the processes definitely are enabled by the technologies. So technology is bringing huge amount of scalability or disruptions, whatever way you say. But then you have to leverage, if you have the right people who knows the power of technology, but the power of technology is the biggest enabler today. Let me give an example. When we started our business, we hardly used to do 5 trades, 10 trades, 20 trades, 50 trades. Okay. But thanks to technologies, now we do about 2 to 3 million transactions a day. Okay. So that's possible only through the combination of people with the best of technology, best of people and best of technologies. Okay. So I think that's really very important for chartered accountant in terms of bringing efficiency, in terms of bringing scalability, in terms of looking at a lot of other opportunities. So harnessing the power of people and technology will bring a lot of kind of growth, scalability for everybody. And we need to learn, because as a chartered accountant, I was weak in technologies. Okay, because we were not exposed to, and the whole technology world also changed. So then while doing the business, the first few months we bought the computer. I didn't know how to kind of, I think, put it on that computer itself. Okay. So but we bought the computer. Okay, that was the first, I would say, apart from the office, that was biggest investment for us. And then we hired a computer operator who was good in punching data, punching transactions, and she taught us. Okay. So then I think you learn very fast. Once you have somebody and you have the willingness to learn something, and you know that brings huge amount of power in processing transactions, then you have to really, I think, learn yourself. Okay, because without learning yourself, you can't just depend upon people. I say to a lot of my friends that you can't go to heaven unless you die yourself.
Yeah.
खुद के मरे हुए स्वर्ग नहीं मिलेगा.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
स्वर्ग में
Yes,
जाने के लिए खुद को मरना पड़ेगा.
Bilkul, sir, bilkul. I remember when Microsoft had come with their Windows 95 version at that time in 1995, I thought it was something to do with 95 Windows and not Windows 95. So, but that's technology for you. I mean, I could go on and on. There are questions, more and more questions flowing in. I think we'll find a way to get answers for these questions. There's questions on volatility of the stock market, how to reach out to you, how to join your company, how did you get this passion on the stock market? And I think it will be evening before we get answers from you. You've been so kind to share everything that you have been through, and in such a simple and lucid manner. It was music to our ears. Before I end, and that's the duty, I know Murtuza has also come on screen, which gives me the indication that I must stop talking. But it's been a fantastic 55 minutes of listening to you, Motilal ji. It was brilliant. Some of the things that I have learned personally from your from what you said in your entire answers to the questions. You said that the CA Institute has been an important part of your life. The social circle, that is the society, plays an important role in shaping our lives. We need to get a foot in the door. And I loved the concept of a moving seat. I mean, in RVG, if they could think of a moving seat then, and today, a moving seat has become absolutely the norm with hybrid systems of office. I think this was far ahead of the time. You kept on saying God is very kind, and indeed so. It just shows that how much you reflect on these things. Be clear what you should not do. I think that was absolutely mind blowing. You said we will not speculate and we will not borrow. You have converted all your adversities into opportunities. Your concept of learn, earn, and return is absolutely phenomenal. Social values play an important part. You said this again at some point in time. Just for the purpose of emphasis, I'm saying this again. You are an organization with over 300 chartered accountants, so that's very good. You brilliantly brought out the point about skill set to mindset. That you need to use both your skill set and your mindset if you want to achieve something big. The OGLP is a new theory in management, as I can now understand. Ownership, growth, learning, and people. You covered it all across the spectrum. Become a SME, become a subject matter expert. I remember one ex-president's Abdul Kalam's words that if you want to become a gardener, become the best gardener, become a gardener in Rashtrapati Bhavan. I mean, that should be the passion that can really talk about. So there are, so many learnings that I personally have got from this. And this 60 minutes, as the first question that had come up, these 60 minutes have been tremendous amount of learning, and the information and the thoughts that really came out. You were so humble in your words, and I'm sure in so many good things that you're doing in your company, and also for the financial services sector, and also for India, not necessarily in that order. So, Murtuza, you'd like to say a few words before?
So, sir, I think extremely grateful to CA Motilal Oswal ji, and it has been like really a treat to listen to him for about 50 minutes. And sir, your summarization again was an icing on the cake. I think you covered so many important aspects, and you picked up almost 15-20 things, which I think are the takeaways. So I would say formally a big thank you to both of you. CA Motilal Oswal sir, thank you very much, extremely grateful. And Satish ji, as always, thank you for supporting ICI and always being available for us. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Oswalji,
Thanks.
Yeah, some last few words, sir, for all of us.
You asking me? Sorry.
Yes, sir. Sir, last few words from you before we conclude, because I want the audience to go hearing you, Not maybe not me for sure, and maybe not even Murtuza.
No, I think you think big really. You got so many opportunities, so you need to think big and think positive. There are a huge number of course, negative things happening in this world, but generally I think it has happened in the past, it will happen in the future. But you remain positive and think big, then I think you can achieve whatever you want.
Thank you very, very much, Motilal ji. Thank you very much. And it has been great talking to you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience for all of us. Thank you. Namaste.